A very lovely afternoon to you. This is Nationwide, and we are broadcasting live from Abuja. My name is Ogochkuka Ona. President Bola Tinubu has departed for Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, to participate in the 37th Ordinary Session of the Assembly of Heads of States and Government of the African Union. The presidential flight took off at about 3 o'clock this Thursday afternoon. The summit for the year is focusing on the theme Educate an African Fit for the 21st Century, building resilient education systems for increased access to inclusive, lifelong, quality and relevant learning in Africa. In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu has directed security agencies to check the activities of food hoarders across the country as part of measures to reduce hardship in the country. This is coming after an emergency closed-door meeting with state governors to proffer solutions. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila's report will come to you in the course of the bulletin. Senate approves 5.79 trillion naira as 2024 revenue target for the Nigeria Customs Service. It also approves 706 billion naira expenditure to cover capital, overhead and personnel costs for the service in 2024. The approvals, as recommended by the Senate Committee on Customs, aims at addressing infrastructure deficit for optimal performance.
That the total revenue collection of 5 trillion 79 billion 69 million 866,085 naira 50 kobo be approved for 2024 financial year.
Meanwhile, in line with the request of President Bola Tinubu, Senate also confirms the appointment of Adama Oluwole Oladapo as Executive Director, Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Gas Infrastructure Fund Board. The House of Representatives has urged the Chief of Army Staff and the Inspector General of Police to deploy more security personnel to Fika local government area in Yobe State and its environs with a view to improve the security situation in the area. This followed a motion of urgent public importance moved by member representing Fika Fune Federal Constituency, Muhammad Buba Jajere.
The House notes the state of insecurity in Fika local government area and its environs has assumed a worrisome dimension as a village called Gurjaje in Fika local government was razed down on Monday, 12th February 2024. We also urge the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, the Northeast Development Commission, and the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to urgently provide relief materials to the affected communities of Gurjaje in Fika local government area, Yobe State.
National Assembly correspondent Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports that the House also mandated the Central Bank of Nigeria to maintain system exchange rates for customs duty and excise below 1,000 naira per dollar to encourage patronage of Nigerian ports.
Nigerian importers are shifting towards ports in Tema, Ghana, Lomé, Togo, Cotonou, Benin Republic, causing a substantial 65% decrease in cargo importation and businesses activities at the Nigerian seaports.
Now, some members of the House of Representatives seek to alter the 1999 Constitution to pave way for transition from presidential to parliamentary system at all levels of government. While briefing newsmen shortly after plenary, the spokesman of the group, Abdul Samad Dasuki, says the parliamentary system bill, when passed into law, will streamline administration, potentially reduce bureaucratic hurdles, foster more collaboration between the executive and legislative branches, reduce high cost of governance, impact on the nation's political landscape, and living standards of the citizenry. The lawmakers stressed the need to raise awareness on the benefits of the shifting system of government to ensure robust public debates, stakeholder consultations, expert analysis, thorough and informed decision-making process for the future generations. They strongly believe that going back to parliamentary system with its added advantages of over presidential system will guarantee accountability, prudence, and meeting the yearning and aspirations of Nigerians to make Nigeria work again. The bill has passed first reading in the Green Chamber of the National Assembly. The federal government has discontinued the trial against human rights activists Omoyele Sowore and Olawale Bakare after 5 years of trial for the treason. This was disclosed in a notice of discontinuance at the instance of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, sent to the Federal High Court in Abuja. Fagbemi, SAN, is exercising his power of nolli prosecute conferred on him, and we'll bring you details of this report in the course of the bulletin. And still staying with the judiciary, Yobe State Judiciary has keyed into the justice reform system with acceleration of cases in courts, as more than 600 cases were disposed in 2023 legal year. Chief Judge of Yobe State, Justice Gumna Kashim Kaigama, stated this at the 2023-2024 legal year, which is coming 20 years since it was observed in the state. Correspondent Adam Yusuf Ali reports.
Judiciary, being the third arm of government, is a democratic setting, is also the last hope of the common man to seek justice. With disposal of more than 600 cases as of December 2023 by Yobe State, judiciary is a commitment aimed at ensuring acceleration of justice as contained in the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, presiding over the 2023-2024 legal year, which was last held in 2004. The Chief Justice of Yobe State, Justice Gumna Kashim Kaigama, said with enhanced logistics and financial support, the judiciary in the states will do more in disposing cases in various courts.
We are able to provide accommodation to some magistrates and alcalis in the local governments of the state for that purpose. It is imperative to commend the efforts of the state government in ensuring the financial independence of the judiciary since 2013, when it approved the grant of quarterly allocation of the High Court and the Sharia Court of Appeal, respectively.
I urge the judiciary to continue with such drives in our collective desire for quick transition of justice and bringing justice to the doorstep of the common man. I therefore wish to stress that we will continue to provide necessary support for a conducive working environment and give incentives for the judiciary to continue to uphold the rule of law for the interaction of the democratic principles in Yobe State.
The submission of the State Deputy Governor, Idibarne Gubana, assured of united support, given the importance of the sector to people and government of Yobe State. The valedictory session was held to honor 3 chief judges and 1 High Court judge for their various contributions for strengthening the judiciary since the creation of Yobe State in 1991. In Damaturu, Adam Yusuf Ali, NTA News.
And from judiciary, the federal government has warned electricity distribution companies to deliver quality services to their customers or have their licenses revoked. Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabu said the era of underperformance in this sector is gone. Joshua Jito reports.
Load rejections, lack of adherence to minimum remittance order, poor investment in distribution networks, and overbilling of unmetered customers, among others, are issues around the distribution value chain of the sector, and the Power Minister reads Riot Act to defaulting players.
People must not be made to buy transformers. The discourse must sit up. Whoever that deserves license withdrawal, we will withdraw it. They must. There is no alternative to performance. Result is not equal to no result plus excuse. Result must be equal to results. So everybody here as a team, we're going to speed up our game and ensure that Nigerians are served. We are introducing stiff sanctions for non-performing discos without fear of favor.
While interventions by the federal government and development partners, Power Minister says, will be sustained. Adherence to market rules must not be compromised. In addressing challenges of liquidity crisis and revenue collection, plans are underway to unbundle distribution companies along states in line with the provision of the new electricity law. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
And now to education matters. The Federal Capital Territory Administration is set to commence rehabilitation of public schools in the 6 area councils of the nation's capital. FCTA Secretary for Education, Danlami Hayo, who disclosed this in an interactive session with journalists in Abuja, said the FCTA considers primary education as a basic foundation for learning. Miriam George Jitubo has details.
The school renovation code named Whole School Approach is the FCT Minister's approach to giving the FCT schools a facelift. Secretary for Education, Danlami Hayo, says, to this end, the identified schools under the first badge of the project are as follows.
Like LEA Primary School, Bagusa, Primary and Junior Secondary School, Waru, in Amak, this municipal, Karishi Model School, LEA Primary School, Apo Resettlement, Junior Secondary School, Live Camp, School for the Deaf, Kuje, Junior Secondary School, Pai Kwali, LEA Primary School, Atako, Abaji Model Primary School, Junior Secondary School, Aleta.
The second badge of the Whole School Approach will cover 4 schools.
The Minister also approved second batch of Whole School Approach. So in the second batch of Whole School Approach, we are going to completely renovate 4 number schools.
In a related development and as part of intervention to finally put to rest the lingering teachers' strike, the minister has approved a sum of 7 billion naira to offset part of liabilities owed the teachers, amounting to 40%, while the area councils are expected to pay the remaining 60%. Mariam George, Jitubo, NTA News.
And Mariam Jitubo is standing by for an update on the rehabilitation work in public schools within the FCT. Mariam, a very good afternoon to you. Can you tell us more on this program?
Thank you, Ogochukuka. I'm here at the Government Secondary School, Festival Road, Garki, Abuja, one of the schools listed in the first batch of the school renovation project tagged Whole School Approach. This is, of course, unprecedented, going by the resolve of the FCT administration to provide quality to not only road infrastructure, but also schools. This development aims at creating a friendly environment for teaching and learning in the Federal Capital Territory. It is worthy of note that FCT public schools are not doing badly, but the present administration is doing everything necessary to improve on the infrastructure and academics. In view of this, a total of 13.1 billion naira has been earmarked for the first batch of the project, which covers 18 schools. And from what the Secretary for Education, FCTA, Danlami Hayo, said in his briefing, the second batch consists of 4 schools, revealing that the structure of the schools will be completely changed. 4.5 billion naira is going to be spent on the project. Well, back to your earlier question, I spoke to some FCT residents who expressed satisfaction that with this new development, hoping that it will help in creating more conducive environment for education to thrive in the nation's capital.
All right, thank you very much, Miriam, there, for that wonderful insight. I was going to ask you more questions, but I think you've covered everything. Thank you very much for that update.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll go straight to Lagos, where Michael Olaleye is our guide.
Thank you, Ogo Chukwuka. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has disbursed 750 million naira trader money to 15,000 traders across the 20 local government areas and 37 local council development areas in the state. SA Womaka reports that this financial intervention by the government will help expand the businesses of the small-scale traders, thereby fostering economic growth.
Excitement was the expression on the faces of selected traders across Lagos State as they gathered at Agidingbi in Ikeja to receive the sum of 50,000 naira each promised by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to boost their individual businesses. Falilat Oguntuade, a petty trader, is one of the many beneficiaries of the initiative. She says the money will be used judiciously to improve their livelihoods.
I have some money on my business before, but it's not enough for me. But now that I'll benefit that 50,000, by adding that money, my business will grow up more.
I'm very happy because it's not something that we ask of him. He is the one that planned it, that intends to do it for us, and he has done it, so we have to be grateful.
For Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Lagos Market Trader Money Initiative is part of government's efforts towards ensuring sustainable livelihoods and wealth creation across the state.
I therefore want to employ all the beneficiaries of today to support, all the beneficiaries of today's support, to make the best and judicious use of these grants, that in a way it will contribute to the economic development of the state and also the economic empowerment of themselves and their families.
The Iyaloja of Lagos, Folashade Tinubu Ojo, expressed optimism that market men and women in Lagos State will continue to benefit from measures and strategies put in place by the Lagos State government to empower small-scale traders.
Oh, it might seem little to some people, but it's a lot, it's a whole lot. It can do a lot of things. You can use it to sell foodstuffs, you know, as long as you are able to manage yourselves, you know, you cut your coat according to your fabrics. The money is okay.
The 750 million naira market trader money launched by the Lagos State government is to assist market men and women in the state to access funds to grow their businesses. In Lagos, SA Omomaka, NTA News.
The Lagos State government has announced that it will prosecute any pedestrian caught crossing major highways in the state, particularly where pedestrian bridges are located. However, some residents have turned a deaf ear to the warning and are still running across the carriageway during fast-moving vehicles. Correspondent Bolaji Akinwent ran some busy areas in Lagos and filed this report.
The Lagos State government constructed pedestrian bridges over key highways in the state to provide safe alternatives to cross carriageways and to reduce the number of casualties, particularly from hit and run accidents. Despite the number of deaths recorded on a daily basis and the recent pronouncement by the state government to prosecute those caught taking such risky options, some Lagos residents have closed their eyes to the dangers involved and still continue to cross the highways.
It's for me to be on the safe side now. It's dangerous to cross the highway because you can be hit by any coming vehicle.
I know it's not advisable to cross the road. It's not advisable for them to save their life. It's not advisable.
Where government have provided alternative to cross by bridge is the best option. But people will not. They will take law into their hand. They resort to. They do what they like. Impunity.
Various excuses ranging from ill health and rush to get to destination on time as some of the reasons given by those who prefer to take the high risk of crossing the often busy highways.
One by step, you climb up. When you finish, when you have a tired or something like you can hold that thing. Thank God, say I climb it too. It's better to cross to that side and not hit person away.
We are so hurry. Sitting before you climb around the press area, if it's crossing, you quickly cross and go where you are going to.
Not knowing that shorter way cause more havoc than longer way.
NTA News camera lens caught officials of the state's kick against indisciplined team at Onikpan area of the state, led by Deputy Corps Marshal Oshifesa Olusegun, who declined to speak on camera. According to him, for now, what they are doing is to encourage pedestrians to use the bridge rather than crossing the highways. Arresting the faulters, he said, may however start anytime soon. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
That is it from here. The news will continue in Kaduna after this break. Do stay.
Thank you for joining us in Kaduna. Jigawa State government moves to expand its international business outlets to neighboring countries, leveraging on agriculture through its Mega-3 export processing zone to boost local economy. To this effect, a committee has been inaugurated on Africa Continental Agreement to facilitate the process of diversifying the state's economy for Greater Jigawa State. Muhammad Musa Askira reports.
The need to diversify the local economy to complement the monthly federal allocation is being taken seriously in Jigawa State as government begins exploring alternative ways to boost local economy. The existence of the export processing zone in the state has placed Jigawa at a strategic economic position to compete favorably with its counterparts at the global business arena. The state is processing alliances that will give it the right to utilize the free trade zone for the economic benefits of the state and the country at large. Governor Umar Namadi, while reading out terms of reference to the committee, highlighted the strategic importance of the agricultural potentials in the state and the need to harness them for bilateral international trades. The committee chairman assured the governor of sustained commitment to realize the objectives of the committee.
Identifying gaps in Jigawa State export development programs and proposing next step. Defining issues that may impede successful implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement in Jigawa State, and 4, determine key priority initiatives to support Jigawa State businesses' participation in AFTA.
We will try as much as possible to see that we have improved more about businesses or commercial businesses in Jigawa.
Experts believe that this is the step in the right direction, especially at a time when the economy of the country is experiencing tough times. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
The need for the armed forces to indigenize all their defense equipment procurement formed the focus of a seminar by the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria, DICON, with the theme Repositioning DICON for Effective Productivity and Quality Service Delivery. Dauda Muhammad reports.
The Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria, established in 1964, has the mandate of developing, manufacturing and procuring the hardware needs of the country's armed forces. However, dependence on foreign hardware has negatively affected the corporation. Director General, Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria, Major General Anedi Edet, clarified that Nigerian security challenges demand indigenous military capabilities to surmount, describing the present dependence of procuring military hardware from foreign countries as unsustainable. The Director General stressed the imperative of stepping up indigenization to meet up with the defense needs of the country.
Most of our military capabilities that we give to our forces ought to come from DICON, as it's becoming very, very difficult to buy defense wares and items from outside the country.
General Officer commanding 1 Division Nigerian Army, Major General Valentine Okoro says the current reality shows that getting much needed equipment from foreign countries is challenging due to international politics and other factors. General Valentine advised that the best way out is to encourage local production of military hardware. General Okoro lamented that equipment procured from foreign countries are expensive and unsuitable for the local terrain, which is why supporting the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria to actualize its mandate is very necessary.
I'm particularly happy that the Defense Industries Corporation has positioned itself to live up to its mandate.
This two-day seminar is in line with efforts towards repositioning the corporation for enhanced delivery. Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
And that's our contributions from Kaduna. Back to Oga Chukwuka in Abuja for the continuation of NTA News nationwide. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Umara Jingi. Now, President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment and reappointment of the board chairpersons and chief executive officers under the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. Those appointed are for the National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control, NAFDAC, Dr. Mansour Kabiru, board chairperson. Professor Moji Adeyeye, Chief Executive Officer. For National Blood Service Commission, Professor Abba Zubeiru, Board Chairperson. Dr. Saleh Yuguda, Chief Executive Officer. And for the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, Board Chairperson is Professor Folabi Lesi. Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Fatima Kyari. Pharmacy Council of Nigeria, PCN, has the board chairperson in the person of pharmacist Wasilat Giwa and Chief Executive Officer, pharmacist Ibrahim Ahmed. Others are for the Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria, board chairperson Dr. Babajide Salako and Chief Executive Officer Dr. Tosan Erabo. Modibo Adama University Teaching Hospital Yola now has Professor Adamu G. Bakari as the Chief Medical Director, and for Irua Specialist Teaching Hospital Irua, Edo State, Professor Ruben Eifediyi is now the Chief Medical Director. Now, 2 suspects, including a dismissed officer of the Nigerian Air Force, have been apprehended by the operatives of the Special Tactical Squad of the Nigeria Police Force for supplying suspected bandits kingpin with military uniform and other accessories in Zamfara State. At the parade of 72 other suspects in Abuja, the force says it remains steadfast in its commitment to ensuring the safety and security of all Nigerians. Francis Form has details.
These 40 and 28-year-olds are the ones supplying military camouflage and other accoutrements to bandits in Zamfara State. The 28-year-old, who is a dismissed officer of the Nigerian Air Force attached to the Air Force Base, Kaduna, had only served for about 5 years before he was court-martialed by the military for an offense yet to be revealed. The police operatives had on 20th December 2023 intercepted the movement of the military accoutrements from Kaduna to Zamfara State. Investigation revealed that the accoutrements was meant to be delivered to the bandits' kingpin in Zamfara State.
And we are working with them to make sure we arrest others in connection with this particular case and many others.
Next is the arrest of 4 suspected members of a confraternity cult group in Edo State by the operatives of the Intelligence Response Team, following an ongoing investigation into their daily killings and unrest caused by rival secret cults. The suspects confessed to being members of the AEA confraternity and admitted their involvement in the killings and cult activities in Ekpoma. And this 28-year-old man from Tsafe local government area of Zamfara State, along with 10 other gang members, was arrested by the operatives of IRT for their involvement in numerous kidnappings along Abuja-Kaduna State Expressway, with their base located in the Regina Forest in Kaduna State, and he admitted to receiving ransom amounts ranging from 100 million to 40 million.
Upon his arrest, 2.2 million naira, his share from a recent ransom collected was recovered.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force says its enhanced tactical deployments has led to the arrest of these 72 suspects and the rescue of kidnapped victims, as well as the seizure of illicit military equipment. Francis from NTA News.
In a similar development, troops of Operation Safe Haven have recovered firearms in a weapon fabrication factory in Pakashi village of Mango local government area of Plateau State. The media information officer of the operation, Oya James, says the discovery of the factory was during our clearance operations under Hakorin Damisa 4. He further stated that during the operation, a suspect named Tapshak Langji was arrested for illegal activities in the factory. Items recovered from the facility include 5 AK-47 rifles, 4 AK-47 magazines, 11 rounds of 7.62 mm ammunition, 4 revolver rifles, and 11 pistols with 5 magazines, among others. The suspects, along with the recovered rifles and other items, are currently in the custody of the troops for further investigations. And now the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Ogun State Command has confiscated 42 sacks and 8 kegs fully loaded with petroleum products being smuggled out of Nigeria through the Akere waterways in Ipokia local government area of the state. Yemi Dalemo reports.
Bunkering and theft of petroleum products have been a recurring crime on the Akere waterway within the Nigeria-Benin Republic border. Economic saboteurs who engage in the business even arrested by the law enforcement agencies. The efforts of the maritime unit of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps acting on intelligence laid siege for 2 days in the area and intercepted a boat conveying wrapped petroleum products in sacks of about 100 liters in each of the sacks and another 8 kegs fully loaded with PMS being transported on Akere waterways in the Ipokia local government for sales in the neighboring country.
We must be ready to sanitize Nigeria from all forms of oil theft, bunkering and vandalization of all critical national assets.
The NSCDC boss vowed to intensify efforts at waging war against the enemies of the state who see economic sabotage as a business. In Abuja, Yemi Dalimo, NTA News.
And from Abeokuta, we head straight to Ibadan, where Lanre is standing by to give us reports from that zone.
Good to see you, Chukuka, and welcome to Ibadan. As part of effort to put an end to female genital mutilation, wife of Oyo State Governor Tamuno Minini Makinde has appealed to traditional institutions to engage people of the state on the need to focus on human rights, gender equality, and sexual education. Omokende Igbari reports that this was part of effort to commemorate International Day to End Female Genital Mutilation. Our report is here presented.
Female genital mutilation comprises all procedures that involve injuring the female genitalia for non-medical reasons. It is being recognized internationally as a violation of women and girls' rights. Stakeholders are of the opinion that girls that undergo genital mutilation face short-term complications such as pains, shock, excessive bleeding, infection, as well as long-term consequences.
Oyo State frowns at it, and you can hear Our Excellency says that anybody caught sees in the law we are going to be punished. They are going to be punished. So the laws frowns at it.
I'm appealing to all the Obas represented here and the one that are present here to go back to their community and make sure they enlighten their people and they discourage the FGM in our community.
Some women who were mutilated before marriage shared their experiences. Mrs. Makinde, therefore, called for total elimination of female genital mutilation for a better Oyo State and Nigeria in general.
The cruel act of female genital mutilation affects countless women and girls in our state negatively. And let us join hands to fight against female genital mutilation for the well-being of our women and girls.
The clitoris, medical experts say, is an erogenous zone of a woman, which is the main cause of her sexual pleasure that needs not to be tampered with in any way.
The need for parents, religious organizations, as well as governments at all levels to evolve strategies to eliminate drug abuse in the society was brought to the fore at the first Kwara Stakeholders Summit on Drug Abuse Prevention and Control in Ilorin, the state capital. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya has the report.
Statistics by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, indicates that 40% of Nigerian youths between the ages of 18 and 35 years are deeply involved in the abuse of drugs, with Kwara State accounting for 14%, and over 200,000 people are said to be involved in drug abuse in the state. It has also been established that Kwara State is one of the states in Nigeria with inadequate facilities for substance use disorder treatment. Worried by the implications of all this, the Kwara State government decided to organize the first Kwara Stakeholders Summit on Drug Abuse, Prevention and Control in order to address issues concerning the menace.
Drug abuse is also closely linked with severe health risks and risky sexual behavior. This is a dangerous cocktail of challenges, and it is thus very key that all hands are on deck to reduce the prevalence of substance abuse.
Kwara State has 13% prevalence rate of substance use in Nigeria and number 1 in North Central. If we use all this approach, I believe you by the next time they are carrying out this survey, I'm sure Kwara State will have less percentage in drug prevalence rates.
We are very intentional in the campaign against drug abuse.
On finding solutions to the menace, especially here in Kwara State, the state government will leave no stone unturned to ensure Kwara State is free from drug abuse. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya, NTA News.
Those are the trending reports from Ibadan. At this hour, Nationwide continues with Abubakar in our Maiduguri Network Center after this break. Stay with us.
Still on to Nationwide, the news belt now continues in Maiduguri. Borno State government and authorities of the far north region of Cameroon have resolved to strengthen collaboration between the two states to address common challenges and to scale up existing bilateral ties. This was during a bilateral meeting between the two states held at Banki town of Bama local government area of Borno State. Mohammed Goni will now tell us more.
Delegation at the bilateral meeting led by governors of Borno and Far North region of Cameroon discussed a wide range of issues that include trans-border security control, multiple taxation, sustainable development, as well as promotion of health and education at border communities, among others. Governor Wagana Omar Zulum and Mijiya Bakari of Far North region of Cameroon have resolved to address issues hindering free movement of goods and services between the two states.
The Borno State Ministry for Commerce, Trade and Industry and the Chamber of Industry will meet with the Regional Council of Cameroon and then see how they will resolve some of the matters arising. We should establish a joint council comprising of the government of Borno State as well as the federal government with the government of Cameroon, so that they will come up with parity recommendations.
Cameroon and Nigeria are two friendly countries. We share a very long border, but we face it also difficult to face Boko Haram. Right now, we are targeting the reconstruction plan.
This is just a sort of expanded way that the economy can be boosted, and then we have something sustainable.
With the reopening of the Banki International Market and reconstruction of the International Cattle Market, the stage is now set to revive the trans-border cooperation between the two regions. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
And away from Bama local government now, as part of continued quest to entrench good governance, Governor Babagana Umar Zulum has inaugurated 3 vital committees aimed at addressing critical issues in Borno State. The inauguration ceremony was held at the government house in Maiduguri. Here again is Mohammed Kuni with the rest of the story.
The 3 committees inaugurated by Governor Zulum include a final task with investigating the root causes of conflicts between farmers and herders, the Bama Phase 2 Reconstruction Committee, as well as the Street Light Maintenance and Installation Committee.
The functions of this committee, among others, is to identify
One, the root causes of the incessant conflicts between farmers and herders. To identify areas that are affected as well as prone to incidents of farmers and herders clash in the state, and most especially to identify and document the grazing reserves and its current status in Borno State.
The Farmer Header Investigative Committee headed by Tijani Gonimodu comprises 21 members representing various stakeholders that include security agencies, the Mieti Allah Association and the Alhaya Development Association and traditional institutions. The governor also charged the Bama Phase 2 Reconstruction Committee to identify internally displaced persons willing to return to localities such as Bama Town, Kumshe, Dara Jamal and Termoa and facilitate their resettlement. Commissioner for Education, Science, Technology and Innovation, Lana Bawakilbe, is to lead the 8-member Bama Reconstruction Committee, while the Street Light Maintenance and Installation Committee, chaired by the Commissioner of Budget and Planning, Dr. Bawagana Mustafa Malembe, comprises 6 members. The Street Light Committee's key responsibilities include maintaining street lights with a focus on Maiduguri Metropolitan and Jere local government, alongside major towns across the 3 senatorial zones. Lan Abawakilbe, on behalf of all the inaugurated committees, assured the governor of the committee's dedication to live up to expectations. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
And those are the latest stories. For now, from Maiduguri, Ogochukuka in Abuja has more reports for us.
Abubakar, thank you very much. Now, the Northern Traditional Council has resolved to engage relevant stakeholders, including government at all levels, security agencies, traders, and local communities to address the escalating living costs and insecurity in the North. Chairman of the Northern Traditional Rulers Council and Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar III, stated this at the 6th edition of the Council's Executive Committee meeting in Kaduna. Muhammad Umar Jingi has details.
The northern traditional rulers, including the Sultan of Sokoto, the Emir of Kano, Katsina and Bauchi, converged at Arewa House, Kaduna, to address the pressing issues that threaten the well-being of their people in the region. After exchanging pleasantries, the leaders delved into discussions about the economic hardships faced by their communities and the challenges of insecurity in the north.
And we'll keep on urging our political leaders, whom we believe they will do something better, because we work with them. There is that communication between us and them, and we always try to reach out to them.
States in the north must forge strong partnerships on security and other developmental issues and concerns. Agriculture, power and infrastructure, especially roads, are critical areas where we must collaborate to revitalize our economies and address the challenges of poverty and insecurity.
The traditional rulers applauded the steps taken by the federal government to address the cost of essential goods across the country, but called for an urgent collaboration between the state governors, traders, and all stakeholders to alleviate the burden on their people. The meeting ended with renewed sense of hope and commitment to action by the traditional rulers to go back to their respective communities to implement some of the agreements reached during their deliberations. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Jingi, NTA.
And now we'll return to our earlier report where we told you that President Bola Tinubu has directed security agencies to check the activities of food hoarders across the country as part of measures to reduce hardship in the country. This is coming after an emergency closed-door meeting with state governors to proffer solutions. We now join Abdurrahman Jibrila for details.
Arrival of the governors at the council chamber with speculations on expected positive outcome from the meeting. Then the president arrives. The closed-door meeting ended and journalists were briefed on the outcome of the meeting, which is expected to be a continuous move towards addressing the challenges confronting the nation.
The National Security Advisor, the Director General of the State Services, the Inspector General of Police have been directed to coordinate with the state governors to look at the issue of those holding commodities. At this point that the nation requires food to be brought out to the people so that we can control prices and put food on the table of most Nigerians, other commodity traders are busy holding these commodities so that Nigerians will suffer or they will make more money as a result. So the governors and Mr. President have taken this decision that security agencies will cooperate or collaborate with the state governors to ensure that this ends.
The government is also considering the possibility of creating state police.
Mr. President and the state governors have all agreed that at this point we are seeing significant improvement in security situation around the country. Of course, this is not to say that the security situation has been solved completely, but we have seen significant improvement. There is also a discussion around the issue of state police. The federal government and the state governments are mulling the possibility of setting up state police. Of course, this is still going to be further discussed. A lot of work has to be done in that direction, but both the federal government and the state governments are agreeing to the necessity of having state police.
On the price regulations of food items, the federal government says it is planning on investing more in agriculture to discourage food importation.
There will be no need for food importation at this point. Nigeria has the potential to feed itself and even be a next exporter of food items to other countries. And we do not also want to reverse some of the progress we have seen in terms of food production in this country. What we are seeing now is just a temporary difficulty that will soon go away.
The minister said a committee has been constituted to follow up on all issues discussed for the prosperity of Nigeria. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
We will now be heading straight to Akure, Ondo State, where Abdul Karim Ahmed is going to be giving us live updates on the preparations for the state funeral of the late Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, the immediate past governor of that state. Abdul Karim, briefly, what is the current situation over there?
All right, thank you. The current situation here in Akure, I am at the MKO Abiola Democracy Park. I'm at the MKO Abiola Democracy Park, where the Crusade, which is the first program on the lineup of events, is taking place. And as you can see behind me, that the Crusade has already started. When the timeline for the burial rites were released, the governor of the state, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, set up a committee of which he is the chairman to oversee the affairs of the burial of the late governor of Ondo State, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, popularly known as Aketi. So now that this crusade is already going on, in association with the Christian Association of Nigeria, Ondo State chapter, it is, of course, to thank God for the life and the kind of impact that the late governor had in Ondo State, and of course to pray for the state in general. Although his body is not yet here, it is expected by next week Wednesday, being the 21st, when there will be a special court session at the Akure High Court in the morning for him. His body is expected to be there. And in the afternoon on that same day at the Akure Township Stadium, where individuals and prominent members of the society would have an opportunity to pay their respect and have a last glance at the late governor, where the line and state and the commendation service will hold. By the 23rd of February, the final burial rites is expected to be done in his hometown of Owo, in our local government area of Akure.
All right, thank you very much. It's a week-long activity, and we wish the people of that state, we console the people of that state and wish him eternal rest. And that's Nationwide today. Many thanks for watching. Do have A very good evening.